everyone. I hope you're doing great today. Okay, so this is not my usual research video. This is just me ranting and venting. Okay, I just want to rant and vent. And I hope that you please listen to me and hear what I have to say. You know, from the last video that I posted, which was taken down by YouTube, a whole lot has happened. And sadly, I haven't had the time to constantly put videos out on YouTube. I've been doing a lot of updates on X, which is probably arguably right now the only true source of news around the world. X and maybe Telegram. And you see what happened to the owner of Telegram, or the founder of Telegram, Pavel Durov. You see what they did to him. So basically, every other form of media that we have around us are controlled by these deep state globalists, these tyrants who want to eliminate everybody on earth, who want to get in your business, who want to control everything you watch and everything you see. As you can see, people like CNN, BBC, and the rest of them have been so grossly discredited today that people don't pay attention to them. People don't even watch them. I'm telling you, a lot of human beings don't watch those guys anymore. When we watch them, we just want to watch live breaking news happening somewhere. But to get the real news from them, nobody pays attention to them. I'm telling you the truth. That's why X is so overwhelmed with people who are decamping and running away from Facebook and Instagram and all of those places that have now become a place to go and just dance and play music. Entertainment platforms, really. This is what I call them now. They're no longer good for anything else other than just entertainment. If you know how to dance, you know how to sing, you know how to show off things that you don't own, you can go to Facebook and Instagram and all of that. That's what they have become because of the way they censor people. But today you come to X. X is giving us a lot of freedom to express ourselves, because free speech and the freedom of expression is part of the inalienable rights that we were born with as human beings. But these demonic human beings on earth who think that they own everybody and own our world, they don't want anybody to be free to express themselves. They don't want you to be free to have even a thought about anything. That's why in George Orwell's 1984, we keep talking about how they're going to establish a thought police where someone is going to be arrested for thinking in a way that they are not expected to think. If the government doesn't want you to think in this direction, you think in that direction, they arrest you. Why did you think that this happened? Why did you think in support of that option or that idea or that policy or not? You get arrested for just thinking. You think it's a joke, right? It's going to happen. So that's what has been going on. So I have been posting a lot on X because that's where I see me having the freedom to express myself and not have anybody hounding me to stupor like they do on YouTube and Facebook that I don't even visit anymore. It's just, I just go there and look at, just look at what is going on there. I go to Facebook probably once or twice in a month. Sometimes I don't even do it in 2 months. I don't go there. I can tell you how many times I don't visit my new Facebook page. Because remember, I lost the previous one when I was telling people the truth about COVID. They took it down, almost 1 million followers. And since then, I lost every respect I had for them. Today, I said I'm just going to rant and vent. I saw what happened during the opening ceremony of the Olympics in Paris. As soon as I saw that event, I knew that the curtains have opened for the unleashing of all the demonic entities that are supposed to cohabit with us on earth and make life a living hell for real, organic, natural human beings. I knew that their programming has come a full circle. But then I was a bit worried because I said to myself, if I put what I know into video and explain to people what is happening, I don't think YouTube is going to allow it to stay. And I was not wrong, I was right. That's why most of the time when these things happen, my people on YouTube are always so agitated. They're like, where is he? We want to hear what he has to say. But sometimes, apart from just being too busy, the reason I try to hold back a little bit is because I know that when I tell you the truth in the raw form that I always tell you, they're going to take it down. Because I do not allow any neutralization to my truth. I tell it as nakedly as it should be told. And that's what I did with that video. Did you see what happened? Less than 2 hours, YouTube yanked it, took it off. And they blocked it from all over the world. No matter where you were on earth, you couldn't see it. It was the first thing they did, block it. Within seconds or minutes, they now took it down completely. From that moment on, I don't even know if I'll be able to cover all the events that have taken place. But I think it's fair to say that I want to hear appeal to your conscience as a human being with respect to all the things that are unfolding. And I'm going to take you to the United States of America. You know, the previous videos that I had done in the past, and all of you bear me witness, right? I told you that these guys, in fact, not just one, not two, not even 3 videos, multiple videos I did. I told us to expect that these deep state guys are going to try to kill Donald Trump. And people say, oh, he's come to become all this partisan thing he does all over time. He's come to do it all over again. And they thought I was being partisan. No, I was just deducing from all the things I saw happening. I just knew that all these globalist rats are being, boxed to a corner. And when you box them to a corner, they become too desperate and then they do the unthinkable, which is what happened when they tried to kill Trump. Assassination attempt. And it just reminded me of when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. The same thing they did, targeted his head and blew his brains off. That's exactly what would have happened to this guy. And he escaped it. And not long after that, we now began to hear from insiders at the Secret Service that no, that attempt you guys saw was one. There's a backup. There's a plan B to still try to assassinate Donald Trump. And why I said I want to appeal to your conscience is when you see all these things happening, even one of my friends who is a diehard Democrat, he asked me, he didn't like hearing me talk about Trump or anything. He just thought I was being a Republican, conservative, or whatever, partisan hack, whatever he thought. So he just asked me, say, Jube, why would these people want to kill the guy? I said, go home and chew on it. Now I want you today to ask yourself the same question. Why would these people want to kill Donald Trump? Because killing Donald Trump gives them a free rein to take over our world and destroy every single thing that you see today and eliminate billions of human beings. You see, when I give you figures, I know some people are thinking, what is he talking about? Go and research what happens when nuclear war happens. When a nuclear weapon is used, they don't kill in millions. They kill in billions, especially when 2 nuclear powers, the 2 most powerful nuclear powers on earth, are going to come head to head in a war. Why would Trump be a stumbling block to them taking over the world and destroying it? Because you can see the same globalists are the ones who brought Biden and made him to come to power. In an election that we all witnessed and saw that it was completely rigged like we've never seen. In fact, even African countries couldn't rig anything like that. And when they rigged Trump out, they got Biden in. Up to today, Trump has not stopped talking about how they stole the election from him. So but why did they put Biden? I don't need to ask because you already know. They put Biden because of all the wars you have seen going around the world today. Do you see the number of wars we have going all over the place? Do you see the Ukraine? Do you see Israel, Hamas? Do you see wars? And there's another one brewing there between China and Philippines. Everywhere you turn, there is a war going on earth. This is the legacy that these guys are known for. This is what they want. They want to set our world ablaze so they can eliminate as many people as possible through their world mass depopulation program, and then after that they can usher in the fourth industrial revolution, where robots and inanimate things take over human beings, and where the order of the day in terms of nutrition becomes GMO food and the rest of them. They don't want anything organic. They don't want anything the way God made it. If it comes to food, they want artificial food. Come to human beings, they want artificial human beings, not real human beings, not organic ones. They want a man looking like a woman carrying a belly. They want a woman looking like a man going to do things that men do. They want natural born men to go into the locker room with natural born women just because they declare that, oh, I am a woman. They want what happened at the Olympics to continue to happen forever in everywhere you turn, where a natural born man with XY chromosomes, with all the chromosomes of a male in him, who just claimed that he's a woman, will go into the boxing ring and be boxing a girl and trying to kill the girl. And this is someone that has been exposed as having male chromosomes. If you have male chromosomes, why are you allowed to go to Olympics? This is the level of chaos they want to bring. They want to turn everything upside down. And this cannot happen until they have a massive global war that eliminates as many people as possible so that it will be manageable. Bill Gates already told you this. They have told you this in so many ways. You don't want me to keep repeating it. They've told you. They want to go and Google Georgia Guidestone and see the item that their God told them to do. The Lucifer they worship told them to bring human population down to under 500 million. Go and check it. Google Georgia Guidestone. This is where they want to drive our world to. But because you're watching CNN and BBC, they come with a straight face and lie to you and tell you things that are not, and you believe them. They are bloody liars and propagandists. This is what they are paid to do. Even when their soul and their spirit is against what they are doing, they have to do it because they need to put food on the table. So Donald Trump stands in the way because in the Illuminati, in the globalist structure of power, they have three. I have said this in a bunch of my videos, and I'm doing it again for the purpose of people who are just joining me for the first time or who are watching me for the first time. The power structure of the globalists has three different arms. They have the religious, they have the economy, financial, and they have the military. And all three of them are represented by cities that exist as nations within a nation. They call them city-states. The one that controls the financial or economic power of the globalists or the Illuminati guys is the city of London. That's why every financial operation on earth, every financial activity on earth is controlled out of London. Even the ones that take place in America, controlled out of London. The one that represents the control over religion is Vatican City. Forget your Pentecostal movement and all these things you mentioned. Go and check. I'm too busy. I will prove to you every religious organization on earth today is directly or indirectly under the leadership of the Vatican City. They have already sold that. Even when this powerful televangelist from the United States of America carried all the other, like people like Joel Osteen and the rest of them, and they went over there and bowed to the Pope and signed an agreement that they have returned. Protestants have gone back to the Vatican City, to the Catholic Church. Many Pentecostals do not know that they are not under the leadership of the Pope of the Catholic Church. They control religion, not just the Catholic Church or the Christian religion, even other religions of the world. That's why the Pope has been leading a movement to unite the religions of the world so they can have their one world religion, and he has succeeded. I told you this in so many videos. I don't need to go into that again. So Vatican City is the seat of their control over the religions of the world. So who or which city is the one that handles their control over the military. It's called Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is the military power, represents the military might of the globalists, of the Illuminati guys. The globalist military power is represented by Washington, D.C. That's why America is called the policeman of the world. That's why NATO can never attack any solid nation, especially when it has to be Russia, without the help of America. That's why when Trump was in power, Trump said that Europeans, you guys don't pay your fair share of the money that is needed for the operations that we do with you. We have a partnership with you. We have this Article 7 or whatever it is called. You know, when one is attacked, the rest is attacked too. So if somebody attacks NATO, America will come to your aid. If you attack America, NATO will come. But then, at the end of the day, when you look at the deal, America is always the one giving. NATO has little to nothing to donate. So every time there's an operation, America funds and sponsors everything. And Trump came and said, no, but this is not right. You guys were in partnership. Why is it that we're the ones footing the bill for everything? You have to pay your fair share. And they were shocked because they didn't think an American president could do that. Because they see Washington, D.C. and its military might as belonging to them. Because when you talk about globalists, the people we are talking about are these European colonial powers that colonize almost every part of the world you see today. Check all the countries on earth that have been colonized. It's either UK or it is France or maybe it is Spain, or all the people who got colonized on earth were colonized by the countries that are in Europe. So when you talk about globalists, you're talking about these European colonial powers. They are the ones. So they did not like it to the point that Macron lost his cool and was even going all over the place and saying that, hey, NATO is now going through serious hemorrhage. I even put a video out to show you when he said that NATO is dying. And Trump didn't care. If he wants to die, let it die. They should bring their own money. We can't be footing everything. You want to go on war, then you want us to be the ones to do it. Trump didn't know too much at that time. These guys lay claim to the military might of America because they stole the United States of America from the ancestors who ran away from Europe's oppression to go and found America. They now went through secret societies to go back and steal America by instilling their own guys, by implanting their own guys into the affairs of the running of the United States of America. And setting up the Democrat Party, through which they now take over the US and introduce the same colonialism that chased the founding fathers away from Europe. This is what is going on. That's why they couldn't fight Russia until they placed a man in the White House who will support them, who will release all the military powers of America to them to go and fight Russia. If America was not in the picture, Nigerians will say the no-born NATO, make them go try Russia. NATO is not born to imagine that they want to go and try Russia. No, they were waiting for America. And as soon as they placed Joe Biden in the White House, boom, he didn't even do up to 2 years in power. They've started a war. And you have been watching, you have TV, you have everything in your home. Have you not seen what is happening? Have you not seen how much money America has spent? Hundreds of billions of dollars. Boom, going to Ukraine. Weapons. Boom, going to Ukraine. Training, going to Ukraine. F-16 fighter. Everything they need. 90% or 95% coming from the USA. Their own is just little to nothing. And that's why they always want America to get involved. They can start a global war today because of the USA. Because America has it all. America has been built. Washington, D.C. has been built. All they spend their budgets on is military might. That's why Donald Trump was close to being assassinated. And that's why if he shows up in power now, he said it. He said before he even takes the oath of office, he's going to end the war with a declaration. And I've been saying it the whole time until he said it by himself. That war you see going on between Russia and Ukraine, which could degenerate into a nuclear war right now, if God has mercy on humanity and helps us to stay alive and witness Trump return to the White House without these people triggering the war before that time, then I'm telling you, I will count it as a massive miracle. If that happens, all these wars will end. Both the one happening between Israel and these people, both the one happening, all the wars will end. Trump was in power for 4 years. And guess what? There was no war. And he said it, he will do it again. So this is why we are praying now. I'm coming back to the major reason I'm making this video. I told you I want to appeal to your conscience. The DNC, you all witnessed Republican National Convention when it happened. It was so good. God planned it so well because God saved Trump. And just shortly after that event, the RNC happened. And so it was such a massive, beautiful event. It was glorious. It was like the celebration of life after the devil had tried to take your life. And it was so beautiful, hopeful. People were freely mentioning God and praying and all of those things. But you saw the DNC, Democratic National Convention that just happened. You saw the highlight of it. The highlight of it was that Planned Parenthood, those workers of iniquity, carried a mobile clinic, a mobile van into the convention place, and they were offering people abortion services. Children were being aborted and removed while Democratic National Convention was going on. You are a Christian, you go to church, you're a child of God, whatever. Or even if you're not, but you're a person of conscience, you feel like it doesn't matter. So for them to have driven a mobile clinic, abortion clinic, mobile one, so you couldn't even keep it in the buildings where they were. You had to take it to where people can easily come. So you can now dispense abortion the way you dispense little drugs. This is the chaos that Kamala Harris is bringing. I have nothing, absolutely nothing against the woman in person, but I have everything against her policies because she is not her own person. The wicked globalists who run this world are the ones who are pushing her, the Soroses. You can see her dealings with Soroses' son. These are the guys who are causing the chaos we have in the world today. They're the ones pushing her, and it's not difficult to see. You can see for yourself. One could promote drag queen. She had to go to one of the most popular drag shows in the world to go and announce her candidacy as president. That's Kamala. That's Kamala. And I'm asking you, do you think this is right? Do you sit well with your own body and your soul when you are saying, I support these people because of maybe one immigration nonsense that they are promising people which they never deliver on? We need to pray for Donald Trump. I am telling you today, I know most of my followers, I saw one of them, he said, most of the time we disagree with you, but at the end of the day, we'll now come around and see that what you're saying is true. I am not partisan. I fought for Trump, and I'm still fighting. And if the Trump I fought for back in the days from 2016, if that man had changed for the worse and dropped the values that made me fight for him, you will never see me mention his name. That is blind followership. When somebody you're following based on values now has dropped the values and you still follow them, then you are a blind follower. I am not a blind follower. I have a mandate, I believe, that God gave me to support anything that is good and true. And that's why I am supporting and fighting for that guy. And I have also seen that our world is much, much better off with him in power than these other guys. Because if the wars we have seen in the world has happened with just one man's first term in office, imagine a continuation of his term with somebody who is been described in America as being too far left. So Biden is even almost like in the middle. Kamala Harris is too far left. It's an extreme double of whatever Biden has been. Is that what you want in the world? This is why the globalists are triggered and they are completely messed up right now. Because everything they see, they planned would happen to Trump has not happened to him. A Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has endorsed Trump. Tulsi Gabbard has endorsed Trump. Many more are endorsing him. Many more Democrats are jumping ship and crossing over. So The globalists are freaking out. They are on serious panic mode right now. And like I said earlier, when they are in panic mode, it means they've been boxed into a corner, and all their predictions that Trump will never return to White House is suddenly beginning to fall down to the ground now. So what they are going to do is they are going to try one more time. And they will try as many times as possible to get this guy. And if they notice that Trump has learned from what happened to him and has beefed his security around secretly, which I believe has happened now, and they find out that, oh, killing him might be a bit difficult for us, the next thing you're going to see is a global war. That's why I saw Zelensky, after they pushed him to go and invade Russia, Russia will swallow Zelensky and Ukraine in 1 minute, if not for decency. I'm not over bloating this issue. Everybody knows this. But Ukraine was being pushed by NATO to go and invade Russia. And they invaded the Kursk region of Russia. And this is supposed to be an insult, a dent on the pride of Russia. And everybody knew that retaliation was coming. And not long ago, just a few days ago, Russia began with that retaliation. Retaliation is not kicking them out of the Kursk region that they invaded. Retaliation was Russia sending missiles to Kiev. It started. And guess what Zelensky did? Zelensky started immediately to beg Westerners to send them long-range missiles, because America and NATO have already said that they have now changed the agreement with Zelensky, that going forward, that Zelensky can actually strike locations inside Russia from where Ukraine is being attacked with American and European weapons. Keep in mind that Russia had said earlier that if you allow your weapon to be used to attack us, we will attack you. But they have crossed almost every red line that Russia has kept. And everybody is even getting angry now that why is it that Russia is not giving the kind of response that everybody wants them to give? But Putin knows the kind of game he's playing with these guys. So now when Russia struck Kiev again, Zelensky immediately said that he doesn't know why the West is not giving them long-range missiles, ballistic missiles that they can use to strike deep, not just inside Russian territory, but Moscow, the capital, St. Petersburg, Only 2 or 3 days after he said that, we now read in the news again that Ukraine has developed an unnamed ballistic missile that is capable of hitting Moscow and hitting St. Petersburg. So 3 days ago, somebody was begging that they should give him long-range missile to strike deep into Russia, which is now a declaration of nuclear war. And 3 days later, he just says, we develop. If you knew you were developing and it will be ready in 3 days, why were you asking for it? So it's obvious that as far as Russia is concerned, Ukraine didn't develop any ballistic missile. The West that he was calling on may probably have given him that missile. Maybe the missiles were even there a long time ago and they were just waiting for provocation so that Russia will react and then they will strike and hit the capital of Russia. Keep in mind, every move Ukraine is making inside Russia today, in Kursk or anywhere, is making it in unison with their NATO and Western allies. He's making it together with their NATO and Western allies. Keep it in mind. So now what it means is that if these so-called ballistic missiles now are triggered and Zelensky begins to send them to the Black Sea, to the Belgorod region, to the Kursk region airfield, to Moscow, St. Petersburg, what you are going to see is that Russia will immediately begin to send some mad intercontinental ballistic missiles to different countries that are funding and enabling Ukraine to bomb Russia. The capital of England will not be safe. The capital of all those nations there will not. This mutually destructive whatever is now going to, everybody will just die. The moment you see a missile drop in Moscow, drop in St. Petersburg, take my word for it. If you live in any of the Western capital cities, you better be careful, because the missiles that will come to those cities, those capitals, are already in place. Go and do your own research and say that I told you. It's not like Russia is going to scramble some jets and want to. No, they have them in place, pointing at those locations already. Just waiting for the day that Zelensky, in his absolute madness, would take a ballistic missile and hit Moscow or St. Petersburg. Do you see where we are? But why is it that they are suddenly now talking about ballistic missile going to Moscow, which is the straw that will break the camel's back? Why? Because they have seen that there's nothing they can do again to stop Donald Trump. The only way is to start this war, because once they start the war, America is going to be a party to the war. And when the US is involved in a war, you cannot have an election. You can't have an election. Once there is a global war, the thing is they have to stop it. But can't you see how all of a sudden we just started hearing about monkeypox? Monkeypox, we don't even know how far it has gone. Suddenly, WHO has declared it a global emergency. Are you joking? All of a sudden, because, and before you know it, we are hearing again about COVID resurfacing and resurging in America. They say, oh, Fauci has been admitted in the hospital, blah, blah. All of these are just showing you that they have multiple means they want to use to grind this whole thing to a halt. They want to shut it down. Let's shut it down. Let's shut it down so that the election doesn't hold. At the same time, Jack Smith, that looks like he once was moved away from a psychiatric home. Every time you see him, he's lost. He's just very, very weird human being. You know, he suddenly restarted the indictment scenario against Trump again. You can imagine these people, how desperate. Do you need to even be so smart or intelligent to see that they're extremely desperate? Everything they are trying is not working for them. More and more Americans are streaming towards Trump because they want to save their country. You don't even need to love him. Everybody knows that Donald Trump has his terrible weaknesses. All of us do. I can never make excuses for his weaknesses, the way he talks and things. I can't. And I can't make excuses for you too. You understand? I have my own weaknesses as I'm here. But look, check out his weaknesses of talking anyhow and behaving anyhow. Compare it to people who talk smoothly and nicely, but they kill. Look at the number. Hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian young men killed. Zelensky is literally ripping them from their families and throwing them to the meat grinder where Russia is killing these men. Look at those ones they sent to Kursk region. More than 10,000. Over 6,500 have been killed by now. Just for nothing. Fighting for rubbish. Is this what you want? A smooth talker? Very well behaved, nice, but very lethal, very dangerous, a killer who talks nicely, a destroyer who acts very nicely and corporately. Is that what you want? Or do you want a guy who, even though he talks anyhow, has the heart of a human being, is humane, has compassion, does not like the wasting of human life? Is that not what you're supposed to be in love with? Like, am I talking out of point here? Are we not supposed to connect with things that are compatible with our own value system? It's better to tell you the truth that scares and rattles you than to let you swim in the ocean of lies that would eventually cook you to death. It's so much better. And that's why we bring these things out. Soul searching. Talk to yourself. Speak to your mind, speak to your soul. Ask yourself, what is it that is actually driving me away from this path? If you are a man of conscience, if you are a Christian, ask yourself, what is it that is compatible between me and the values I espouse and the one that I see with the candidate that I am supporting? This is a very critical question that you don't have to be anything to do it. You can actually just do this on your own. I want us to please understand that the stakes are very high. There is so much at stake right now. This is no time for partisanship. This is time for serious soul searching. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens with these guys is going to affect Africa. I remember when Kamala came to Africa, all the countries she visited, what she went to campaign for was LGBTQ rights. Even threatened the nation, including Ghana, that if they did not pass those laws to legalize these things that are very, very anti-African, that they will not receive American aid anymore. This is the woman that they are about to come and make president of the United States of America, and you don't see any danger ahead. I do. And we all should. Let's be wise. Let's be wise and pray for the best outcome. And to me, I don't like standing on the fence. I believe the best outcome for our world right now, and I'm not alone, the Hungarian Prime Minister and so many people are on the same page with me. I believe the best outcome today will be for Donald Trump to return to the White House if they let him. And that's why we need to pray, because they will do everything within their power to make sure he doesn't return. Because once he returns, many of them are going to go to jail. The number of children that these guys sacrifice and traffic every single day will make your blood boil. And Trump is the only president in American history that I know that has set up a task force when he was in power to round these people up and stop the trafficking in children. Part of why they kicked him out of power, because when they traffic in these children, they extract adrenochrome from them. Go and look it up. I don't want to speak on that because this video is already too long. Go and look up adrenochrome. 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 This is what the globalists feed off of, the blood of young children trafficked from all over the world. Without it, they won't survive. And we have a man who can stop this madness. And you say, what? May God help us to do what is right when the time is right. God bless you.